So, one of the big news items that has been talked about outside of the previous items I talked about in the previous video, basically is the fact that Trump and his administration are cutting funds, if you will, to the likes of, PBS and NPR. And apparently, this does not sit well with a lot of folks. And those folks need to understand one thing. If you pay attention to the news, depending on the outlets that you listen to, yes, you're going to get various different takes on it. Some are going to be against what he's doing, and some are going to be more understanding and for what he's doing. Because you see, to them, both PBS and NPR lost the plot. And what I mean by lost the plot is basically the fact that they are known for being basically for the public. Thus, they have the word public in their name. Public Broadcasting Service, or Public Broadcasting System, or services, if you will. I think it's PBS, Public Broadcasting Service, or Services. And then you have NPR, which is National Public Radio. And here's the thing. The reason Trump did what he did isn't because he wants to end PBS and NPR forever. No. What it is he wants those networks. He wants the National Public Radio Network. He wants the PBS Public Broadcasting Service Network to go back to its roots and basically get funding, as PBS likes to say, from people like you, from people like me, not by the government. That is what he's doing. People need to understand that. He's not trying to say, okay, PBS, NPR, you are going to be extinct. You're no longer going to exist. No. He's saying essentially, look, I want these networks, radio network and, television network, to exist. I want them to keep going, but I want them to go back to the roots of doing it for the public and getting the funding from the public. That's what he's saying. He's not saying, let's get rid of them. No, he's saying, let's get these people to realize that what they were built on is what they should have stayed with. Because obviously what's happened behind the scenes, and not much was known about it until recently, is that both have been funded by the government. Both have been funded under the table or, visually in front of our eyes, and we didn't see it, by the government. And he's like, no more. You're going to be funded by the public to keep yourselves going, or you're not going to go at all. And that's the main thing he's doing. He doesn't want it to end. He's just saying, go back to your roots. Go back to what brought you to the dance. That's all he's saying. And some people are taking it the wrong way. I mean, I understand people would say, yeah, we get where he's coming from, but times are different now, and even outlets like PBS and NPR need money from other places besides the public. And look, people could probably agree with that. There's no doubt. Times are different financially, and yeah, you need other means of, financially, having, the money you need to, do things that, you want to, utilize to send out information, or you want to utilize to educate the next generation of youth and all that. And that's understandable. But again, as I said in one video, this guy is, viewed by many and himself as a true patriotic American. And being a true patriotic American isn't just about, hey, we need to have stuff made in America only if we're going to sell it in America. No. It's also about the fact that he wants America to go back to its roots in certain areas. And if that includes, like with PBS and NPR, to go back to, gaining the money you used to have via, the public itself, having the public fund you, then that's being an American. That is basically doing things the American way. Not relying on the government, but relying on those that you want to help support your outlet to stay in business. That is what he's getting at. He's not getting at anything else outside of that. He's getting at the fact that he wants them to go back to the roots. That's how I'm understanding it. from what I'm hearing. It's not to basically get rid of them. It's basically to say, hey, go back to what you were. Go back to your roots. Go back to asking the people, hey, to stay on the air, we need money from you. Hey, to stay on the radio airwaves, we need money from you. Help support us. And the best way, I think, also, is to give the folks, and I think even Trump's alluded to this, give the folks the broadcasting, the services, the shows, and all that made PBS, that made NPR what they are today. Not be something that they're not. So again, it's not that he wants to get rid of them. No. He's just saying, look, if you don't want to lose if you don't want to lose your networks for good, you need to go back to what brought you to the dance. That's all he's saying. Nothing else. It's not a campaign to get rid of them, no, because he knows the importance. He and anybody else working for him, anybody that supports him, understands the importance that PBS and NPR, the importance of them being in existence. We all know that. But it's more about getting back to what they were originally, not being someone that's like, yeah, we'll get some funding from the public, but we're going to get a lot of funding from the government, all that. No, he wants them to go back to being, the television network that was by the people, for the people, supported by the people, funded by the people, as well as he wants NPR to do the same thing. He wants them to go back to being a radio outlet, a radio broadcast that was made by the people, for the people, funded by the people, not by the government or anything else. So that's what he's alluding to, in my opinion. Go back to your roots, go back to what brought you to the dance. And that's all. That's all it really is. So that's all I really wanted to say on this subject. I know people will have a difference in opinion, and that's fine. Let me know what your difference of opinion is, if you like, in the comment section, as well as in the live chat during the premiere if you haven't already. And guys, that's all I'm going to say on it. Let me know what your thoughts are. Also, do all the things to help support the channel. Ring the bell for notifications. Subscribe to the channel. Share the video. Like the video. Also, guys, you can check me out on all the other platforms that you see in the description. It would help me out tremendously if you check out all those in the future. Also, check out the Teespring store for merchandise you can't get anywhere else. Excuse me. But, guys, that's all I can say for now. Let me know what your thoughts are down below and everything. On this whole situation, do you agree with what I had to say, or do you think differently about the whole scenario? Let me know. Love to hear your thoughts on everything when it pertains to PBS and NPR. But until next time, guys, I will talk to you later. God bless. Take care.